to this particular section. So we are actually going to be talking about margin. Alright, so we are going to be explaining what margin is. Now I don't know if I've said this before, but I would say it now. One thing you have to understand with all these tutorials and these videos is that certain things will not be clear to you, okay, but as you start trading they become clearer. Okay, as you start getting familiar with trading, they actually start getting familiar. So we are going to be talking about margin. Now, you see, in Forex, when you open a trade, you're essentially borrowing money from the broker to buy or sell those pairs. Right? You're essentially borrowing money from those brokers to either buy or sell those pairs. Remember, we've talked about broker, and I'm sure by now you've created your account with SNES. So now the margin is the amount of money you need to put as collateral, all right, to cover the potential loss of that trade. Okay, it is like, let's say you're making a down payment for a house, okay, or you're using a house as a collateral to get a loan. Remember, before now I said those days individuals could not trade the market, okay, except you had like huge money. So what the broker does for you is that they stand as like a middleman that gives you that leverage to be able to trade the financial market. So let's say, okay, you want to buy, okay, we want to buy $100,000 worth of a pair, okay, or let's say Euro USD, for example, or USD JPY. Now your broker might require 2% margin, which is $2,000. Okay, 2% of $100 is what? 2% of $100,000 is what? $2,000. So this means you have $2,000 in your account to trade, okay, while the remaining 98K dollars, right, the broker is essentially borrowing you that money. I don't know if you understand. So that is just it. The broker is essentially borrowing you that remaining part. Let's say you want to buy, okay, let me use smaller figures. Let's say you want to buy $100 worth, buy $100 per worth of buy pairs, let's say Euro USD worth of $100. Now the broker charges you like 2%. Okay, now that 2%, it means you're paying just $2, and the remaining $98, what happened? The broker is giving you that money. All right, so now margin serves like let's say more like a safety, space, all right, or a safety, just serves as safety, okay, for the broker, in case your trade, let's say, goes or enters loss, the broker will automatically close that trade for you. Now let's say you open a trade, right, and the trade is going against you and the loss has exceeded your margin, the broker will close that particular trade for you. So that is just what margin is all about. If you open your MT5, you're going to actually see those margin, equity, and the rest of them. Now leverage, I've explained what this leverage is. Is what the broker gives to you, and we have different leverage you can actually use. We have 1 to 100, we have 1 to 200, we have 1 to 1000. I just advise people to just it just depends. Any leverage you want to use depends on the size of your account and what you're looking at achieving. All right, okay. Now the more leverage you use, the more your account is exposed, especially if you're using a small account, right? The more the more leverage you use, the more your account is being exposed. So if you are using small account, make sure you are using a suitable leverage. All right, so what this leverage simply means is that this 1 to 200, it means if you're depositing $1, it is viewed in the market as what, $2,000. If you're putting in $10, it's viewed as what, $2,000. All right, so that's just what this leverage is all about. Again, as I said, the more leverage you use, if you use a higher leverage, the more exposed your account is. So let's move to equity. Now equity, equity, all right, is the sum of your account balance and all the other floating let's call them unrealized profit or loss that is associated with a particular position that you have opened. Now let's say, for example, your account balance is $10K. The floating profit is $2K, okay, from the position or from your open position. It means your equity will be now $12K. Remember, I say it is the sum of your account balance plus the unrealized profit or loss that is associated with that particular position that you have actually opened. Again, as I'm going to say this again, some of all these things will look so technical, but the moment you start getting familiar with those MT5, MT4, and you start trading, start doing practicals, they become much better or clearer to your understanding.